Hey, I'm here with my great Aunt Martha, and I have questions to ask you about your life and stuff. So, yeah. When and where were you born?
I was born in Jackson County. Yeah, Jackson County.
When?
1923.
Okay. What was your first date like?
My first date, well, see, my boyfriend didn't have a car, so he walked to my house. So we didn't go anywhere on a date. We didn't go anywhere on a date. He walked to my house, and then back home. We'd both walk to church out here, and we'd see each other. But I rode the school bus with him.
What was your household like?
My household, it was noisy. It was noisy, but not as many children as there were. There was not a lot of fussing and fighting. It was a good upbringing, my household.
How many siblings did you have?
I had 14 siblings, but they were, we got along. That don't mean that, well, some of the boys had to be disciplined, but I don't ever remember getting spanking.
Describe your wedding day.
Describe my wedding day? Okay. We didn't have an announcement in the paper or anything. We didn't even have a planned wedding. There was an evangelist by the name of Oliver B. Green that was having a revival in Athens. So we went with my brother and sister and two of my cousins. And after the service, my fiance went up and asked the pastor if he would marry us. So we had our license with us, and he did. So that was our wedding. Well, the first time I met my fiance or husband was, he had borrowed some school books from my brother Doc had borrowed some school books from Lee, and Lee came by our house to pick them up, and all of us kids, we crowded to the door to see who it was, and it was Lee Black after the books, and I thought, you're a good-looking guy. And I don't know how long it was before I gave him a Valentine. I don't know where in the world I got the Valentine. I didn't have any money to buy one. But anyway, the Valentine said, "I hope you've already guessed, you're the one I like the best." And he kept it all those years, and I still got it. And I'm going to keep it. But anyway, and then we started riding the same bus. And he had a sister named Jenny. And we would pass notes. And if you told Jenny something, or she had anything to do with you along that line, it was just like throwing it in a well. She would not tell anybody. So, when we got married, our school teachers didn't even know we were dating or anything. We wasn't really, we were just talking. And, but anyway, that's how I met him. And, of course, he was looking at me all the time. I was looking at him. And, but anyway, it turned out great. Everybody thought I was too young, and I'm sure I would. If one of my granddaughters was thinking about getting married at 16, I'd have a fit. But anyway, it worked out good for us, and I'm grateful. we had 6 grandchildren, and now we got 8 great-grandchildren. Oh, me. We was, I was 16 when we got married. We were married 64 years, very good years. And he's been gone 11 years, soon be. But I got good kids. One's sitting right over there. Oh, and just overall a very good family, including your dad.
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little?
I wanted to be, I think that what I can remember, I wanted to be an attendant on an airplane.
Was it flight attendant? Did you want to travel internationally a lot?
No, I didn't. I never rode on an airplane. But anyway, that was just my thinking. But I didn't have any other jobs of mine.
Who were your heroes and role models when you were young?
Who was my role model? Oh, I had a real close friend at school. But really, I was so young. We didn't have TV. We didn't have radio, and I really didn't have a chance to have a role model. So I don't remember a role model.
And what do you remember about World War II?
World War II. I remember a lot about World War II. My husband was in the Marine Corps before we got married, and he had to, when he got out of the Marine Corps, he had to enlist in reserves. So after we got married and set up housekeeping, about a half a mile from here, then the reserves was called in. So he had to go, and we had to break up housekeeping. And he was gone. Oh, they didn't have any provisions for, married housing or anything like that, so I couldn't go. And I don't think he stayed in very long in the reserves till he came back home. And then during World War II, we moved to Newport News, Virginia, and he worked in the shipyard for 3.5 years. Then he was drafted in the Navy, and that's what I remember. And then several of my brothers was in during the war, and my brother-in-law, 2 of my brother-in-laws, and so there's a lot that I remember about World War II.
What was segregation like?
Segregation.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just, there wasn't, we had black people that were our neighbors, and we got along with them, and so I know it was segregation. I know that they didn't ride the school bus with us, they didn't go to the same school, and that type thing is what I remember. And it wasn't good, I didn't think it was good, and I was glad when it was changed.
When did it start to change?
Oh, I don't remember what year it was.
Like how old were you? In your 20s or 30s?
Oh no, I've been married for years. when it changed. But I don't remember the year.
Where were you when 9/11 happened, and what do you remember thinking?
Oh, 9/11. I was here at home, and saw it. I saw the second building go down. And you can't imagine the feeling. And I just knew that it was something terrible was happening. So that's 9/11.
What world events had the most impact on you while you were growing up, and did any of them personally affect your family?
Well, I don't remember a lot about the Depression, of course, but there was not a time that we didn't have food. We didn't have money, but no one else had it. So we were not by ourselves. And we raised our vegetables and we canned. We didn't freeze. We didn't have freezers. But World War II affected my life more. But the Depression, it was hard. It was hard on everybody. Not that I can remember it, but just reading about it.
What's the coolest invention you ever were around when it was invented? Like, inventions, like...
Oh,
What's it-
inventions.
Yes.
Oh. Electricity. Electricity.
Like, when you were growing
Growing
up?
up.
Like, which one changed?
Oh, well, I'd have to say electricity because we didn't have it. We read and studied by lamplight. Just like we had to do this week when the power was off. So, that's, I guess you would say electricity. That was better than telephones. You know?
Yes. Who was your favorite president?
Who was my favorite president? Well, I don't remember too much about him growing up, but I think Eisenhower was one of my favorite presidents. Who was the actor? Ronald Reagan was another favorite of mine. And several, but those are the main two.
What do you think my generation misses that your generation had? Like, does that make sense?
Well, my generation, there wasn't a lot of divorces in the families. So we had a mother and a father at home at night, and that I appreciate that more every day. That we didn't have to worry about where our daddy was, where my mama was, like it is today. A lot of kids don't even know their father. So that's one of the biggest disadvantages for children today, I think.
Is there anything that you think my generation has that you wish you had?
Well, I don't. Well, you could ride a school bus. We had to walk. So you got a school bus to ride, or your dad carries you, or your mom. If that answers your question.
That's all the questions I have. But is there anything you want to add? Like any other cool stories you have?
Well, looking back over my upbringing, I don't feel bad toward my parents for me not having plenty of clothes. We had plenty of food. but we did not have plenty of clothes. But we made do. We made do. And so I'm just thankful. You know, we was brought up in a poor time. There wasn't a lot of things then that there are now, and I think sometimes it's a disadvantage. You know?
Yes,
So I'm happy with my upbringing and thankful that, you know, we had good parents. Didn't know a lot about my grandparents. I only knew one of my grandparents, my mother's mother's the only one I knew, ever met. But anyway, I'm not complaining about my upbringing. So, no, yours either. My mother made clothes. My grandmother never did make us anything. I can't remember. The only thing we ever looked forward to at Christmas time was an apple and an orange and 2 sticks of peppermint candy. That's all we got. That's all we looked forward to because we knew that was all we were going to get. I rolled my hair on I cut strips out of a brown paper bag. And that's what I rolled my hair on.
Really?
That's what my sister and I rolled our hair on. And so I could do that today if I didn't have problems with my fingers.
Could you tell us about the house up here?
about the house.
The home place. The home place.
Oh, the home place.
Let me get the camera.
Oh, the home place was,
Can you?
I don't know how we all slept, but we did. The boys slept upstairs, some of them. And then there was 2 bedrooms. My mom and dad slept in the fire room. And of course, we slept 2 to the bed. I slept with my oldest sister. Well, my sister Isabel slept with 2 of the brothers, Lamartine and Robert. They were small. And we had to draw our well water. We didn't have, of course, we didn't have any running water. And the cold weather we've had this week, I told Tim, I said, well, my, I used to have to get up, we did, and go milk a cow in this bad cold weather. I remember traveling in the snow to go milk the cow. We had to do that before we went to school. Me and my sister Isabel would get up when we got old enough and fix breakfast. After we ate, we had to go milk a cow and come back and get ready for school. And for a long time, we would go in the wagon sometimes. And then one of our neighbors built a homemade school bus. And then we started riding that school bus. And that's where I met my husband.
On the school.
Yes. And so we lived happily ever after. Cut it off.
Should-a-dum-dum-da-da. Should-a-dum-dum-da-da.